Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my July reading wrap up, and I know I posted yesterday and I don't normally post videos back to back. Like, if I even post 2 videos in a week, normally I only post once a week, but I wanted to give you guys my July reading wrap up as close to the end of July as I could. And since I was finishing a book yesterday, I didn't want to film it yesterday, so I did my TBR instead. And I also know how I am with booktubers that I watch. I'm always like, I want to know what their TBR for the next month is, but I also want to know what they read in the previous month. So I just wanted to give you guys this information as soon as possible. And I had time to film today, so I thought, why not? So yes, my video, again, like I said, is my July reading wrap up. So let's get into it. The first book that I read in July was Addicted for Now by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the third book in the Addicted Calloway Sister series. I rated it a 4.25. Basically, this was the third book in the series. It's also the third book for Lily and Lo, which are the first couple that you meet in the Addicted Calloway Sister series. They have 5 books in the series total. So the reason that this got a 4.25 instead of a 4.5 was that some of it I felt like could have been taken out. Like, I don't really want to explain the plot because, like, it is in the middle of a series, and explaining the plot when you don't know the first 2 books could kind of give some stuff away. So I have to be as, like, secretive as I can, but still, like, explaining why it got the rating it got. I just think there were certain parts that could have been taken out that would have made the, like, it wouldn't have been confusing for them to not be there. I just felt like it was kind of dragging it on. But it wasn't anything that was so bad that I was like, no, this can't be a, 4.25 and it has to be a 4. I still thoroughly enjoyed the book, and after reading it, wanted to continue the series very much. As weird as it sounds, I almost enjoyed the book more because of the other characters than Lily and Lo. I don't know, it was weird. I do really, really love Lily and Lo, but I think I enjoyed the other characters more. They were more amusing to read about and more interesting, and maybe that's just because the first 3 books are about them, and so I'm like, I haven't gotten any of the characters' point of views yet for the other ones, but I don't know. I just felt like the other characters were more interesting to me, so yeah. Addicted for Now, 4.25. Okay, so based off what I just said about Addicted for Now and how the other characters, like Lily's sisters and their, significant others and all of that, because I found them more amusing, since the next book was Kiss the Sky, which is Rose and Connor's book, and they are 2 of the other characters that show up in that book that I was very like, I love their relationship, I want more of it, like, and I want their point of views. I did decide to go in and read Kiss the Sky by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is the 4th book in the Addicted Calloway Sister series. I rated this a 4.75. I loved this book. I love these characters. I love this couple. Like, I literally, they are so cute. Like, they're cute, but in not like a, oh, you're so sweet. Like, it's like cute, like their banter and like their rivalry, and it's just, I love it. And Rose, I know a lot of people don't like her, and like I've heard even from people that I know who have started to read this series, they don't like her. They're like, I don't really know why people would like her. She's mean, she's this, she's that. I love her. I think she is, I don't even know how to describe her. She's just a bad you-know-what. Like, she she does not take anything from anyone, and she stands up for herself, which I really like. But yeah, I love Rose and Connor. I think that they are adorable, but in not, again, like a fluffy, aw, cute way. Like, it's like a, I wish I knew how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't want to spoil stuff. I hate when I read stuff that are spoilers or watch videos and there's some spoiler in it, so I try really hard not to spoil it. But just trust me, they're like academic rivals to lovers, and it's just so good. The next book that I read in July was Hot House Flower by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and I'm sure none of us are surprised by this. Based off of my TBR that I just posted, Thrive is the book that's next, so clearly I read these 3 books this month. But also, I mean, I don't know. To me, it felt weird to just not get into the next book after reading the second couple. I'm like, there's only one more couple left that I haven't read about, like, their point of view from, and so I did. I picked up the next book in the series, and I read it, and I loved it. I rated it a 4.75. Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower were rated the same, but they are very different plots. It's just, like, the way I felt reading both of them was very similar, so that's why I rated them the same. I can't really say between Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower which one I liked more because they were so different. that's why I rated them the same. I didn't want to rate one higher than the other because I really can't pick which one I liked better. But I am super excited for this series to continue, and I'm honestly really excited for Rose and Connor and Ryke and Daisy's books to continue. And I think that's just because we've gotten a lot of Lillian Lowe so far, so I'm just excited to see more of them. But I have to read Lillian Lowe's last 2 books before I get back to Rose and Connor and Ryke and Daisy, but that's okay. The next book that I read in July was Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman. This book was actually just recently reprinted with a new cover. So this is the old cover, but the new cover is like a blue background with a gold locket, which if you've read the book, you understand why that's the cover. I personally like this cover the best. I get why why the new cover is what it is, and I think that's cool too, but I don't know, something about this cover, like when you read the book, it's so good. I love this cover. So I'm pretty happy that I have this, but this was a 5-star read for me again, and the first time I read it. And since I had finished, you know, my little 3-book Addicted Callaway Sisters series like binge, I was like, okay, I want to read something that I'm pretty sure won't put me in a reading slump. So that's why I picked this up. I also picked it up because, again, like I said, she reprinted the cover, and I thought, why not read it in honor of that? But yeah, I loved it. So basically, this book is about Cora and Dean. They are enemies. Like, I hate saying that when it's like a romance book because I feel like they're never really like, I don't know, like they are enemies, but they're not really enemies. They just don't like each other. And they like play jokes on each other and pranks and stuff like that. Dean is Cora's sister's fiance, so they kind of like try to make it seem like it's this like brotherly, sisterly kind of playing pranks on each other, but it's really not. And then Cora gets drunk and loses her wallet and her keys and all of these things and can't get home, so she calls Dean because he's the only one that will pick up to come get her. And when he comes to get her, something bad happens and they end up getting kidnapped by someone, and now they are in a basement together and they have to work together to get out of said basement. Now, most of the book is actually once they get out, but there are some scenes that happen while they're in the basement that are very triggering, and then obviously after when they talk about it. So I would definitely say search up trigger warnings for this book if you're going to read it. It is very dark. I mean, it literally says on the cover that it is a dark romance, so don't take that lightly, like it is. The next book that I read in July was Tasting Innocence. We're gonna turn that cover around now. Basically, this book was a book just to have a buffer between the really dark romance that I just read. I was like, I need something a little bit happier. So this is Brother's Best Friend Trope, which is one of my favorites, so I was super excited to pick this up. This is the second book in the South River University series. The first one was Stealing Ronin, which I read last June? I think it was June. And that was an MM romance. Like I said, this was Brother's Best Friend. So I don't know. I feel like it could have been better. Like, they could have made it longer and better, but I think this series is supposed to just be short little books. So I feel like for what it was supposed to be, which is, like I said, a short little book that's literally less than 200 pages, it was good. Like, I didn't feel like the characters, I mean, they obviously got together pretty quickly, but I didn't feel like it was like 2 pages in and here we are, we're together. They gave a good amount of pages. And then again, with the whole brother's best friend, normally the brother's like, no, I don't like this, don't do this. And then that happened, and then it was fine. And, you know, I think it was an average book. I definitely would say if you like Brother's Best Friend, I don't think you wouldn't enjoy this. And I think it's good to have short little reads occasionally. You know, sometimes you just don't want a huge book. So I would definitely say that if you like this trope and you like having, you know, in-between reads, refresher reads, whatever, that I would recommend this book. I rated it 4 stars. It wasn't anything special, but it wasn't anything bad. I probably wouldn't read it again, just because I have so many other books to read, but also like it was just a book. The last book that I read in July, I actually read on my Kindle, so I'll just put the picture like up here or up here, wherever I decide to put it. Basically it was called Where We Left Off, and I rated it 3 stars, which I really don't like ending a month on a low rating, but this one just, it didn't hit for me. I had seen a bunch of people talking about it and raving over it and TikToks about it, and it got me excited, and so I read it, and it really just wasn't for me. I mean, I think that there are other people who would like it, and I think me maybe like 2 years ago would have liked it, like when I was younger and in high school, but I've graduated, I'm a little bit older, I'm starting to enjoy more of like a mature book. I don't know. It just, I think maybe me a couple years ago would have liked it better than I did now. There was something like, oh, this happened and this was horrible and I hated it. It was just like the book itself wasn't me, and it felt, again, very like a 16-year-old girl would be like, oh, I love this book. There were also a couple like plot twisty things that I kind of guessed, so I don't know. Overall, I don't know. It was okay. So I gave it 3 stars. I would say that if you're excited about it and you've like, you know, read the back of it or have seen a TikTok about it or whatever, and you're excited for it, you know, read it and give it your own chance, but it was just not my thing. So there's a second book. I probably won't read it, at least not now, maybe later, but not planning on reading it anytime soon. So alrighty, those were the 6 books that I read in the month of July. I thought I was gonna read more, but then when I went to Hawaii, I kind of just didn't pick up a book the entirety of the trip. I just was like, I'm gonna swim and snorkel and tan. Like, so, and I had a friend with me, so it just kind of, I don't know. I didn't need to read to entertain myself. So I feel like there definitely would have been a lot more books if I did read in Hawaii, but I'm not upset about 6. 6 is very, very good for me. So yes, those were the 6 books that I read this month. My TBR is up, so if you haven't seen that, please go watch that. You can see the books that I'm planning on reading in August. And yeah, that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I know that I did a lot of rambling. I'm sorry. That happens sometimes when I do reading wrap-ups, because I'm like, I don't want to spoil things, but I also want to give enough detail that you like understand what I'm talking about. But if you have any questions about the books or anything, you can always comment those down below. But I will see you guys next week. I don't know exactly when it'll be, but I will see you next time. Bye guys.